Hey guys, before I start this video, I want you to know that I'm not sponsored by any of the equipment I'm about to show you. So before we get started, I just want you to know that, this is what I'm using, and, and I just want to share it with you. So let's go over this equipment, check it out, and maybe you'll see something that you hadn't been using. Just gonna show you around here, and then we'll go over every item that I got laid out here. This is my GoPro 9. Let's do the rods first. So I get these rod protectors from Bonehead. This is a 7-foot rod, and then they have a big opening on the rod for the shorter rods, and then the 10-foot rods, they have a smaller opening on it. But when you double them up like this, I like it because it helps keep the rods together, the two-piece rods together, and they slide inside of my rod holder on my kayak really good. Here we go. Bonehead, 8-footer, 10-footer. So here are the rods, and we're going to talk about the 5 different rods I got here. So let's go over them, and let's take a look at them. So guys, here are the rods, and all but the 7-footer is rear seat. The other ones are rear seat, and they're all 10 feet. And the reason why I like rear seat is because I feel like it helps my hook set. So when I hold a hammer by the very end of the handle, and that way I can get the most leverage. So when I'm driving a nail in, so that's my same way of thinking about the rear seat of these rods. So I feel like I'm driving that hook inside of the fish. So I want to have that, the most action is at the rear. The attachment part for the reel look like they're all the same. I mean, pretty much all the same. Nothing special there. The B and M has a little notch in theirs, and then the grip, of course, for the ACC crappie stick is a little different. And I mean, this is raised right here, so it feels pretty good. This Zaka has a taper right there, so where you're holding it at, it's a little fatter there, so will probably help you have a little more natural form to it, opposed to being nice and straight like that. So I do like the super grip. Matter of fact, the super grip is usually has the bait and the jig head that I'm wanting to start with that day, because I like it. I like the super grip. So I'm gonna show you what I do to help keep the maintenance on my reels in good condition. Okay, so these are the tools you're gonna need for this maintenance project, and that's a little bladed screwdriver and the Phillips head screwdriver. Both pretty small. And most of these reels that you have, they use really small screws on. So first thing, we're gonna loosen these screws up, and we're not gonna take them all the way out. Only one we're gonna take all the way out is this one in the back. The other ones we're just gonna loosen, and there's a third one under here. These guys are pretty small screws, so make sure you be careful not to lose them. Like I say, we don't want to take these all the way out. If you're mechanically incline, you want to take them all the way out, then that's, you know, you can do that. But if you're not mechanically inclined, you might want to just loosen these up so you don't have to build anything afterwards. But loosen them up, and then just gonna take the screwdriver, just stick the blade in there just enough so that we can squeeze in some grease. That's a pretty good size gap right there. You can see that I've been putting grease in this one. So you're gonna need your grease and a towel, and make sure your towel is fairly clean so that you don't put any trash in there. But and if you can find something where you can squirt that, you know, where you can put this grease in something and then you can squirt it in there, then you can do that. I mean, that'll be better than the way I'm doing it, but honestly, I never remember to stop to buy something to do this with. But you just basically want to force the grease in there. What happens is the gears, it'll get on the gears and it'll swing it around on the inside on the gears and the bearings. If you use WD-40, WD-40 dries up, and it just doesn't last as long, but it works good. So put the handle back on. Then you just splash around the, slosh around. You're just going to slosh around the grease on the inside of it. Here's my fish finder, and it's a Garmin EchoMap UHD 93 SV. The transducer is a GT54 UHD, and basically I just use it in the clear view. I use the side view every now and then, but most of the I want to say 90% of the time I'm using clear view. And I just like to go over a structure. Every now and then I actually pinpoint fish, and I'll show you a clip. Here's a clip with some fish in it, so you can see what crappie looks like on the screen. So you just saw that fish on it. Yeah, so I'll just find the fish. If I can find the fish on the screen, then but you'll be surprised, a lot of times you'll find structure and you can't see the fish, and you go back and fish it and you'll catch the fish. So it's more about recognizing what structure is holding fish. So I like blue. So here's the pliers that I use, and I already lost the spring. I think I dropped it in the lake for these pliers, and I use them to get the hook out. A lot of times when I set the hook, I'm setting it in the lip. Only time I really have trouble with gut hooking is when I'm fishing 20-30 feet deep. But these are okay. I wouldn't buy these again if I had to. If I'd say I dropped these in the lake, I wouldn't buy them again, but they do work fine. So they tell you on their website how much everything weighs, and this extends out so if you're using a long rod, you can actually use it. But this net is a lot heavier than I plan on. So I really, if I had to buy this again, I wouldn't buy it. It's just way heavier. A lot of times I won't even pull it out because I just don't even want to pick it up. Here we go. And look at their products. I mean, and none of this stuff is cheap. So for scent, I like to use crappie nibbles. I like to put 1 or 2 on. Yeah, it really helps when the fish are being finicky. And a lot of times these nibbles it'll get the little ones to strike. And on that strike, you can determine how deep the fish are, and then also you can determine what presentation that you're using, you know, and just basically where the strike zone is one of the reasons why I like to use the crappie nibbles. Scent, just to get the fish to turn his head, you know. I believe in scent. Now, this is the bonehead scent, and it did not come in this bottle. So basically, this is one of those e-cigarette bottles that I bought off of Amazon. I transferred the scent into this e-cigarette bottle, and basically, I like the e-cigarette bottle because the little nipple here on the tip, you can just rub that up against your jig, and you know, and you're not spilling you know, sand everywhere. So this is how I keep track of my fish. So I have this old-fashioned one, which has been around for years, and then I have this digital one. And I gotta be honest with you, I have not yet used the digital one on the water. So I can't give you a really honest opinion on it. But I mean, this is out there and it's available. You can keep track of your limit. But this is the one I use all the time, and it's blue. So here's my boom that I use to set my camera on, and then I have this big battery pack, which is basically a rechargeable battery for cell phones or whatever you need to recharge. But I hook this directly up to my GoPro, and basically it'll run the GoPro for at least 12 hours. So what I got laid out here is the jigs, the jig heads and the jigs I've been using probably since, I want to say, mid-April. I've been using basically these colors, and up to this point, and pretty much natural colors have been working really well. And so I don't know why, but all the different lakes I fish, natural colors have been working really well. And I mean, I say I don't know why, but natural colors should work well. So let's start with the jig heads. So right now I really like a blade on my jig head and the 1/8 head size. This works in most water depth. When you go over 15 feet, this starts to get too light, and then under 8 feet, I would say you lose some of the finesse that you can get out of your presentation with this. It kind of, and under 8 feet, it drops like a rock. So you'll have to really work your rod tip to get the natural presentation out of it. But so 1/8 with a blade, white, is what I've been using. For deeper water, this is a 1/4, and 20 feet, then I like to use this. really ain't too thrilled about. I bought this at one of the big stores, and it doesn't have the sickle hook on it, but it does work. I would rather have a sickle hook on it like this one, and with a blade on it. There is some out there like that. I just haven't bought it. But it's not pink. I was out of the white one, some of this. So, but white is I mean, this is the color I've been using, and I noticed I have ran out of white and had to switch to either chartreuse or pink or orange, and the bite slows down. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it stops, but it really slows down. So white and with a blade in it. Whatever you do, have to get a blade in it. There's something about this blade is really making these fish have a reaction strike. Let's talk about bait. So here's a bait that I've been using. Sorry, I don't have a brand new one. I just ran out of these things. These are the busted ones I've been using. But this is from Dead River Baits, and this bait here lately has been really what I've been using to catch the fish on. What I can tell is that like right now, it's a lot of bait out there, and this size of this bait and the shape of it, I think that it's drawing the fish to it, because they're probably eating a lot of little bait, and opposed to chasing down a bunch of little bait, they're wanting this bigger bait and they're running down. They also, Dead River has this one, the minnow there that looks really good, that the fish like, and that's it with a blacktail, and then with basically the grays going down. So pretty much these two are the same color, it's just a different profile. But this one is really effective. The fish with a white jig head and a blade, if you get this near the fish, they're gonna chase it down. I watched a gar, that was about 6 inches deep. I ran this by him, and he was chasing it down, and I move it faster and he swim faster. He was really going after it. So this from Dead River are really effective. A nice bait that Dead River Bait makes also, and this one's pretty effective as well. And it pairs really good with a white jig head. So that's a nice. Either one of these is a really nice combination. If you got a lot of sunlight, this one probably would give a good reflection on the water for the fish. Yeah, these are the FLC Fishing Lake Country bait. Now, these are very good starter baits. If the fish are being finicky, you put one of these baits on, and especially these colors, and what you're gonna get is the smaller fish to attack it. And then that small fish, he's not there by himself. There's some bigger fish there. You just got to figure out, if you hunting for them and you're trying to find them, then this bait will help you locate the fish, and then you can move to a bigger bait, or you can just catch through the smaller ones, and then you're going to catch big fish. Because I fished with this bait right here one day in the river, and man, I tell you what, it caught a lot of big fish. So Fishing Lake Country, check his. So before we head out to the lake, let's go over some safety stuff. Guys, protect yourself. Wear a scarf around your neck, protect your neck. Plus this thing helps protect you from the bugs too. And wear gloves. Gloves help you keep from, when you're taking fish on and off, help keep them from finning you all the time. Hey guys, well, I'm on the water now. We just finished talking about the gear that I'm using, and so it's time to go out and use that gear. So hey, let's head over to the railroad trestle and give it a shot and see what we can catch out there. So there's a creek channel that runs off of this second one, and it breaks, I think, in the middle of the two, first and the second one. So we're gonna scan and see which one is holding the most fish. About 15 feet deep. And hitting the bottom, coming up a couple inches. little guy. I'm gonna stick with the swim up presentation. It seems to be wanting to move, and I could have better control over the swim up presentation with this wind. Nice fish. Barely pecking it. The nice thing about fishing railroad trusses is it ain't like a bridge, car bridge, where there's cars constantly going across it. Still got some spawning marks on it. They really reacted to that swim up presentation. I'm hitting the bottom, just coming up the boat, and I'm giving them a chance to actually take it. Very few kayak fish in this condition. So if you have a really good budget, spend the money, and it'll increase the amount of days you can actually go out. Nice fish. presentation is it's a stab and then come up. So I'm working it two ways on basically on one pad. Nice little 11-inch crappie. The stabbing presentation, I'm showing a little thump. And I tried to toss out today and fish didn't seem to care for it. You used to catch one, on any presentation you used to catch, you know, one or two fish on all of them. Maybe not a crappie. Nice fish. Maybe my last one for the day, but nice fish. Barely hitting this thing. Hey guys, got here about 8. It's 1 o'clock now. Like I say, I gotta get to this barbecue, but this is what I caught, and I'll throw the jigs that I was using. Well, here's some laying in here. Here's that's dead river bait, and dead river bait. Pretty much these 2 jigs here that I used all day long.